Content director and artist in residence here at Whirly Derb, and I have a treat for you today. Today, I'm going to show you how to add the windows on your spooky house, because that's one of those things that some students are like, oh, could you show me that again? Let's do that a little more slowly. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So let's look. So you've worked on your spooky house, but you're like, oh, these windows, I can't really figure out how to do them. Well, what I'm going to do is let me switch over here, because I'm going to show you it's all just a connection of shapes. And I'm going to walk you through those so you can kind of create your own. Once you know the formula for what we're doing here, it is so easy to add on. So I want you looking at this. So here are our windows. We've got our door and our window, and basically we use the same elements, whether it's the door or the window. We put this little extra rectangle down here on the windows, and you just put it together, and it's a spooky house, so you want it to be crooked and eerie looking, and with broken window shades, broken windows, things peeking out of it. So all of that is what we want to have happen in our illustration. So here is an example, and you can see this one. I did it very quickly, and I drew the lines crooked kind of on purpose, because I don't want it to look straight, because that would just be too neat for what I'm trying to do here. So here you go. Let's go over that pattern for what you're going to use on your windows and your door. And pretty much the elements we're going to use either square or a rectangle. And so I'll do this again. Let's go ahead, and once you come down, you're going to extend over and come down again. So there's our rectangle that we use. That's going to be for our door. And then over to the sides, I'm going to come down just a little bit with more of a square shape. Notice I'm not going all the way around, so I'm going to go across. I'm going to come down and connect it. So basically we have a rectangle, two squares. It almost starts to look like two eyes and a nose to me. So here we go. For our windows, I want you to go ahead, you can add a rectangle on the bottom of them. A rectangle on the bottom. And then on the top of them, we're going to find the midpoint of that line segment. You're going to come up, put a dotted line. And then I want you to connect that. Notice we just put a triangle on top of it. We're going to connect it and connect it. Have our basics. Then we're going to do the same thing here for our door. We're going to come up here, guide dot. Going to come down this one. I'm going to just extend that line just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to close it in, and then I'm going to double it. Notice I'm creating that. See how that second line comes in with it? And then I'm going to do the same thing coming down on that door. And if you look at doors, look in your room right now, you'll notice there's a door casing around them. And so that's an extra layer of wood right there around the door. I'm going to put a little doorknob on it. I'm going to use a rectangle, a little circle there at the bottom, little doorknob. And then over here, I'm going to do another line above my windows. I'm going to connect it in. And so what you'll start to see is the more little lines and details you add, the more interesting your drawing becomes. Okay, so we could leave those simple and with the single line if you wanted to, but I want you to watch what happens. I'm going to come here. I'm going to add, notice I switch size of my markers, add an extra one. Okay. A little bit more interesting. I'm going to add a line here. Let's make it look like, do another line, maybe add something that looks like a little window there. Now let's take a little crooked line up. See that? Kind of starts to look like we've got a broken window coming there. You might have some curtains on the inside if you'd like. We can show some curtains just kind of coming down like this if you wanted to. You could do another one here. So you start to add extra little elements. Sometimes you could add even some horizontal lines there. And so just look at that. The difference in adding details to having it very, very plain. Same thing with your writing. Sometimes you'll have the outline of something, but you have to add in details to make it interesting. So here on the other side, let's go ahead. I'm going to continue this. And let's see, so with it, I'm actually going to make this one kind of come this way. It looks like it's got a, might just kind of have a tear in it with that. You might put little things popping out. Sometimes you can have like little ears maybe that come up, a couple of eyes on it. Something that's peeking out there. You can put a window in here. Same thing, we'll add a few little details in it. Maybe there is perhaps it's a spider hanging down. Oops. We can color that in. A little spider that comes down. Oh, and you might actually have, we could do a little spider web kind of that, oh, look at that. So have something like that comes in. So this is what I wanted to share with you of how you can add details into that basic illustration, and you can kind of create that spooky environment. All right, so today this was our windows and our door. Okay, and be sure to sign or initial your work there on the front. This was just my warm-up, but if you were finishing your illustration, your completed illustration, that might look something like this. You definitely would want to sign that, because you want people to know whose work it is. So be proud of it. Sign your work when you finish it. And let's move over here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. It really is about adding details into your drawing. And you're never quite finished. That's another secret, is that artists, sometimes you get to a point where you're kind of satisfied with it, but they don't like everything they draw. So if you don't like your first set of windows and doors, keep practicing. The way you get good at something is to practice. I'm Roxanne Glauser here with Whirly-Derb, and I hope you're going to be adding some detailed windows and doors to your spooky illustration. Thank you. Bye-bye.